Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's episode of Intuitive Angling. And man, really appreciate you guys making some time out of your day to spend with me and check the video out. Never take that for granted. So big thank you from me and my family for swinging by the channel here. We are going to be talking about the Texas rig versus the Core Tackle Ozark rig today, guys. You guys have heard me talking about the Ozark rig a little bit over the past few months, made by Core Tackle. And in my opinion, from using the Ozark rig and talking to the people that have been doing this and the people that know about it, it's still pretty new now, guys. It's just getting into the mainstream. The Ozark rig is replacing the traditional Texas rig on soft plastics in a lot of different applications. And what I want to do today is sort of explain to you why that is. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still applications for the Texas rig, but a lot of your soft plastic, if you try the Ozark rig here, guys, this is going to definitely be one of your favorites. Just a lot more efficient. There's a lot of advantages to it we're going to get into. Also, guys, before we get started in today's video, just a quick invitation to please consider hitting that subscribe button here at Intuitive Angling. Free and easy to do so, man. That's a really good way to help the channel out. Right now, there's only like 35% of the people that watch Intuitive Angling are actually subscribed to the channel. So that's a good way to show you some support for the channel if you want to do that. And also, guys, I will put the link for the Core Tackle Ozark rig in my Tackle Warehouse link in this description. If you guys would like to order a few packs of them after watching the video, you can get them through my link there. So I really appreciate that. Okay, we've been talking about this a little bit, but if you're not familiar with it, guys, here it is. This is the Ozark rig, and what it is you got a offset hook here, an offset eye with the lead distributed through the shank of the hook right here. This is the key to the effectiveness of it, and then I'm going to show you guys how to rig it, because what happens here and what the inherent difference is between the Texas rig and the Ozark rig is the Ozark rig, the way that weight is distributed. When you rig it on your self plastic, it creates not only a wobbling action on some worms, but it creates this glide. It's like when the bait falls, it sort of glides like that a little bit on the way down. Whereas a Texas rig, if you got your bait rigged on a Texas rig, the Texas rig just drops straight down like a rock. I mean, there's no gliding to it. There's no undulation. It just drops straight down to the bottom. That is the difference. So a lot of times this falling action, the glide action and the wobble action on the way down, it will trigger a fish to bite that will not bite a traditional Texas rig. And this is true throughout the whole retreat, because like on the Ozark rig, guys, when it's falling down like this, if a fish doesn't hit it on the way down, you get it on the bottom and then you hop the bait up off the bottom and it does the same thing on the way down. So there's a tremendous amount of visual strike appeal to the Ozark rig that doesn't exist with the Texas rig. Okay, guys, let me show you how to rig it, because this is sort of a unique way to rig it. What you want to do is you want to come through probably about a quarter of an inch or so, maybe a half inch or so, depending upon the size of your bait. And you're going to carefully come all the way through, and then you're going to run the head all the way through the plastic, and then you're going to come out the back side there, and you're going to reverse it. And your hook eye, the tie eye, is going to be right there. And then you want to come back through, bury it in like that, get your bait straight. You know, every bait's going to be different, and that's how it's set up like this. So you don't have any head weight right here. And this is another big factor as far as helping you land more fish, because since you don't have a lead weight there, a lot of times that lead weight will interfere with your hook set, so you don't have that to deal with. You know, very realistic looking. And then the glide of the weight on the bottom there is what makes this bait glide to the bottom and sort of just undulate like that on the way to the bottom. So that's the difference in the way it's set up like that. Now, there's a lot Core Tackle offers the Ozark rig, guys, in a lot of different sizes. They got a lot of different weight options, and they got a lot of different hook options for your different type of soft plastics. Now, we'll talk a little bit about the type of areas you want to fish them in, but there's three primary types of soft plastics that I have found the Ozark rig to be superior in. The first one is any type of a creature bait. This is a Z-craw or a beaver, something like that. And then both a curl tail plastic worm and a straight tail plastic worm. Because, you know, like here on this, I got this Zoom trick worm here. I'm going to be using it. I'm going to have a smaller head right here. Rig that up there. It's a little bit smaller head, a little bit lighter weight on there, depending upon your soft plastic. Everyone's going to be a little bit different. but you're gonna have it just like that, come out the head. You're gonna have it set up just about like that. So everyone's gonna be a little bit different how it sets up like that. And then again with the, the bigger curl tail worms, you use a little bit different size. So again, based upon the soft plastic you can use, you really need 3 or 4 different sizes as far as hook sizes and weights on there. But again, some type of a creature bait and some type of a worm is the 2 best, soft plastics to use on it. Okay, now let's talk about the important part. Once you get comfortable rigging it and get comfortable setting it up and everything, and there is a little bit of a learning curve, guys. When you start rigging this thing up here, you might go through a couple different baits until you get the feel for it as far as how to turn it. But once you do it, once you get it, do it half a dozen times, you're gonna have it down pretty good. But the thing about it is a lot of the success that you're gonna have with the Ozark rig depends on the type of structure that you're fishing. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys right off the bat, in my personal experience, if I'm doing just straight pitching and flipping into heavy cover, like say, for example, I'm pitching and flipping into thick flooded bushes, or I'm flipping and pitching into gnarly cover where there's like little holes like that where I'm pitching into, I will still use a Texas rig in that type of a situation. I just think in that type of a situation, it's a little bit more efficient. But if you're pitching and flipping or casting around any type of clean targets. Now, what I mean by clean targets, let's say you've got a boat dock, a piling boat dock or a floating boat dock or whatever like that. That's a clean target. If you're pitching next to a lay down tree in the water, a clean target. If you're pitching next to a log, a clean target. Any type of a clean target, or even a rocky bank, or even some type of a grass bed that has larger holes in it. If you're pitching and flipping into the type of area where your bait has some freedom to glide, that's when you want to use the Ozark rig. So say, for example, you pull up to this boat dock, or you got a nice lay down tree in the water, or lay down log that's not real thick and gnarly. You pitch that Ozark rig up against that boat dock piling or up against that lay down log, and that's when you take advantage of the gliding and the undulating motion that the Ozark rig offers. That's why, I'll usually have both depending upon the situation. And also for fishing a little bit deeper offshore structures. So say, for example, you're out fishing a big worm on a main lake point, or you're just casting a worm down a rocky bank. That's when the Ozark rig is going to really shine, because in that open water, fishing drop-offs, ledges, that type of stuff, it's going to give that bait the ability to get down and take advantage of the action on it. Now, another thing with that is I have found that the Ozark rig works a little bit better if you got a little bit better water clarity. If the water's dirty, like if the water visibility is over about 12 inches or under 12 inches or under a foot in visibility, dirty, muddy water, I'll still use the Texas rig. But I like to have water visibility for the Ozark rig, sort of in that 1.5 to 2 foot or greater for that. Cleaner the better. I mean, it's really, really good in a cleaner water situation where the bass can really visually see that motion of that bait. And one of the best successes I've had on it is here in the Ozarks, we do a lot of pitching and flipping like to bluff banks and steep rocky banks. We have a lot of bluffy, chunk, steep, vertical channel type rock walls in Missouri here. And I like to take it like on, Z-Hog or some type of a creature bait, put that Ozark rig and pitch it next to those rocky banks and work it off those steep rocks like that, because it just sort of undulates and glides as it falls down the rock ledges. But anyway, guys, it's worth it, man. Like I said, I'll put the link in the description. Pick you up a couple packs, give it a try. I know some of the guys have been pitching and flipping with it. I'm sure that it would work good pitching and flipping in super heavy cover. I got a lot of confidence in the Texas rig, but I can tell you right now, more and more, guys, I'm finding more applications for the Ozark rigs. And a lot of it's just up to your imagination. There's so many different styles and profiles of soft plastics out there. Just experiment, try it on a tube, different type of worms, different type of creature baits, swim baits, you can use it on it. Just another one of those things that it sort of gives the bass a look they haven't seen before. And a lot of times when you're trying to generate a strike from a bass, think about how many people fish a Texas rig. The Texas rig hits the water, bloop, it goes down to the bottom. If you're in a heavily fished body of water and you've got the same type of say the bass want some type of a soft plastic on the bottom, but if you've got a bait that actually looks different on the way down, you're going to trigger more bites than if it just goes straight down to the bottom. So give it a try, guys. I think you'll like it. Another thing about it is, one of the things I like about having this exposed here is I take fingernail polish and I can match my worms exactly. I mean, I'll use different type of browns and green pumpkins and reds and that type of stuff. So it's really easy to use fingernail polish, to color it up to custom, fit the plastic you're using. So, anyway, guys, hope it helps you catch a few. We'll check in later.